kind of from the beginning, like, whoever want to go first, you know what I'm saying? You can tell us about where you're born and raised and, kind of like that.
This is Alex Tchangam talking, but I was born in Cameroon. I was there I was about, I think like 8 or 9 years old, and then I moved to the United States. I was a soccer player. Obviously, there's no football in Cameroon, and going to middle school and high school and all that, I wanted to be a soccer player growing up. And then, and then I started watching football, and it just kind of caught my interest. And then, so after high school, because I didn't play football in high school, but after that, my boy Ed, he kind of put me on with De Anza because I wanted to play football, but I knew I had to chase the JUCO route because I didn't play in high school. But then, so Ed was able to find De Anza for me, and then we ended up going over there together. And then, my first year, I started as a wide receiver. I was not good, and then I transitioned to the defensive side of the ball, and I was able to pick that up pretty easily. And and I was blessed enough to get a scholarship to go to Colorado, and Colorado was it was a beautiful like campus, and it was like, it's just a nice state. Like the coaches like took care of me, and everything was like exactly what I expected. And then now I'm just I'm training for the league.
Got you. And we're gonna dive back into some of those things real quick in a second. But what about you, Malachi? Like, where are you from, and how did you get into the game?
So originally I was born in the Bay Area. So I was born in Palo Alto, and then I moved over to Fresno when I was about 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. And so right when I moved to Fresno, my parents introduced me to football. Like football is pretty big out in Fresno, California, in the Central Valley. So I started playing football from 4th grade all the way until just a couple seasons back. So in high school, I was a 2-star recruit, had multiple D1 offers. I had Cal looking at me, Washington State. And so in high school, I simply didn't have the grades. So I had to go. So I realized I had to go the junior college route, which was fine. Mm-hmm. And then coming out of high school, I actually ended up getting sick. So I got the hepatitis A virus, which kind of like threw everything off. So I had to redshirt my first year at the junior college. Mm-hmm. And I was like asking God, like, is this for me? Like, because I didn't take those D1 offers in high school, and I got sick right out of high school. So redshirted, then I decided to play that next season, and then I played 2 seasons at De Anza. Mm-hmm. I think I did pretty well. Then I got a scholarship to go to Delaware State. Didn't work out over there, so I ended up transferring over to Saginaw Valley State. And then after that, I just decided to just get into training. So I just started training really athletes, and then I transitioned over to training just the average Joe or people that are trying to lose weight. So
got you. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. What high school did you go to?
So I went to Clovis North.
Got you. Clovis North High School in Fresno. So my boy, he actually has like a lot of local listeners in Cali, but he also has like an international listening base. So a lot of guys probably heard of Clovis North High School. Pretty good school. That program has a pretty nice history in football and I think wrestling and probably even other few sports. But I'm also going to backtrack a little bit because I know you said you've been playing playing football since you were in elementary school. Alex, did you play any sports? I know you said you didn't play in high school, but did you play soccer or anything growing up, or like basketball?
I played soccer, basketball, but it wasn't for like the school. It wasn't for nothing like that. Like it was just like, oh, we go to the gym and we just kind of hoop, or like every Sundays, like me and my brothers, like we were going like just kind of play soccer.
You just like pulling up and playing people for money?
Yeah, just pulling. He said playing people for money.
You're like Kimbo Slice of soccer and basketball.
we were just pulling up and just doing what we do.
Got you. So why didn't you play any high school sports?
So I wanted to play basketball first, but then I put myself in like in a deep hole because like I didn't have the grades in high school, and then like I was so far behind that I realized that I can't think about sports right now. I just have to finish and graduate and then focus on that, and which led to me taking the JUCO route.
Yep. I also got a question for you, Malachi. It came up to me like in my head while you were talking. Did you go straight to De Anza right after high school, or did you go to another JUCO first?
No, I went straight to De Anza out of high school.
Got you.
How I heard about it was through my boy Autry, which he was a part of DB Guru. So DB Guru had like a little connection with De Anza and with one of the coaches at the time. I forgot what his name was, but
I think it was Coach Pierce. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Coach Pierce. Yeah, Coach Pierce. Yeah.
Hey, shout out Coach Pierce. My boy Coach Pierce, a real one.
Right. Coach Pierce. Yeah. How could I forget him? But
hey man, we got you out here for getting him on camera, man.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so also kind of about like back to De Anza though, too. What was it like, coming into JUCO? Like I know Alex, when I first met him, or shoot, even back before that, like you were probably the damn buffest dude at your high school. Like you and your brother, did they ever hit you up at school? Like, hey man, why ain't this 6'3", 250 guy walking around playing any football?
I was actually like the biggest, one of the biggest guys. And it's funny because every time like coaches came, like any like coaches from any school came, they were like, "Oh, who is that guy? Like, is he on the team?" And every time they told them like, "Nah, he wasn't on the team," you could tell like they were just kind of confused like as to why like he's on the team, And then I mean, Ivan was the same thing, but he played high school soccer, and he actually won the state. He actually won state for Chattahoochee, and so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for our listeners at the crib, Ivan is Alex's older brother. He also played for me at De Anza, and right now he's at Davenport University, D2 defensive lineman over there. Shout out Ivan. And so also, what was the transit? What was it like moving from Cameroon over to Did you move straight to Georgia?
Yes, I moved straight to Georgia. It was different. I mean, obviously, but because in Cameroon you see a lot of like as a kid you see a lot of like it's a poor, it's like it's pretty poor and stuff. And then, but I was lucky enough to like I was like a medium class, what I'm like, medium class to a little bit like the upper like class, and just like everything, like the streets, everything, man. You see a lot of homeless people, like just kind of that aspect.
Got you.
Oh no, I want to ask too. What part of Cameroon? Because I got a lot of friends out this way. They're from, I want to say, West Cameroon. They speak like French and all that.
Yeah, I speak French too. I grew up in Douala.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's a random question? I mean, shoot, Cameroon is on the map right now. We all know why, of course, right? Before, of course, Alex put Cameroon on first, but then after that, my boy, Francis Ngannou's from Cameroon. Are you from like
all them African boys?
Yes, sir. Hey, man, shout out to him and Usman, man. Those guys over there putting on, right?
Yeah, they are putting on.
Yes, sir. But from there, I guess we can kind of start talking about De Anza, right? I think I remember when I first met Mally. When I first met Malachi, it was him, and there was another DB from Hawaii, and I was just like, man, these gotta be like the two buffest polycats I ever seen. I was like, bro, I ain't never seen two like DBs that were like part Polynesian that was out here all yoked like this, bro.
Yeah, we look just alike too, which was crazy. Now I forgot his name too.
You know what? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about. But yeah, he was from Hawaii. He was from Hawaii. It's crazy because we were the same statue, like same height, damn near same weight. So but he played corner while I was at safety. But
got you. What was it like your freshman year at De Anza? Do you remember anything about that season?
Like my red shirt freshman year.
Even that, you take us through that. What it was like to redshirt, and then what was it like to play your freshman year?
To redshirt, it was pretty difficult. As far as in like just not playing, because I was used to playing every season. Like I did not miss a season. Never really got injured. Like never really got sick. And so for me not to play my first season, it kind of weighed a toll on me. It was just like a mental game. And then, but once I went through that adversity, it made me more resilient. And I came into that next season, my redshirt freshman season, and I think I crushed it as a redshirt freshman. It was leading tackles and PBUs at one point. So it was. I think I did pretty good, but like transitioning from high school to college, like it's different. It's a different ball game for sure. You're playing with guys, especially at the junior college. Like you're playing against guys that are like 26, 27, straight up, grown men.
Yeah.
So, but I had lots of fun. I had lots of fun my first year, and the Deanza coaches were really welcoming. And I really connected with all y'all like right off the jump. So
yeah. And I think one thing too that we don't really stress enough or talk about enough is like, especially for you too, Mally, because you're from out of the area, as far as like moving back to the area and having to probably work and pay rent. And same thing with you, Alex, right? Being an out-of-state student, like Cali JUCOs, we don't pay rent, right? We don't offer housing, we don't do meal plans and things like that. So you kind of got to be another level of cutthroat if you're not from the area living with your family, right? You guys have to kind of provide for your own sometimes and figure out, meals and kind of what they call the JUCO struggle, right?
Yeah.
What was that like for you, Alex, coming in before Alex was a D1 DN? We used to call him Alex Stonehands Tchangam.
He really thought he was a receiver though, which blew me, man.
Hey man, it's okay, man. But but the hardest thing for me was just making a decision like to leave Georgia to go to Cali, knowing that like I was gonna have to go through that because I was gonna be like the first time I experienced something like that, And then getting out there, I remember my first year, that was probably one of the toughest years because I was roommate with Elijah. Shout out to my boy Elijah, but I was roommate with Elijah, and then we were staying like in this apartment, and then midway through the season, like I think we had a game that day, we got kicked out. So I had to go to the game with my luggages, like literally, and then we had to find somewhere else to stay. And then also, luckily I had one of my boys who played for Stanford. He was at Stanford at the time, so he was kind of able to like help out and like just kind of like help us out till we find somewhere like so we can get back on our feet and stuff like that. But yeah, man, that was a struggle I'm never gonna forget.
Got you. And so I know Ed, shout out Ed Chapo, but so did he play basketball for us at one point, or did he go straight to West Valley? Because I know somehow like I forget how the weird connection happened, but I remember the first day Alex pulled up, we like, damn, who the fuck is this guy? And then Ed's over here like looking like little Don King or Floyd Mayweather's manager. He was like, yeah, this is my guy right here. Y'all gotta mess with this. Y'all know how Ed talked. He was over there like with the Chris Rock hands, like, hey, this is my guy. You gotta talk to this dude.
So the crazy thing is the way it actually worked, like, is Ed found out like he went to Deanza like a year before I decided to go there. He went there for he had a basketball workout, and then he liked it out there. And then when he decided to go, I told him I was just gonna go with him. And then he played basketball. He played for Deanza for a little bit, and he ended up going to play out West Valley. Yeah. Got you.
Yeah, I remember when you first came. So I can even talk a little bit about Alex's first season. He was just this big ass receiver, bro, the swollest receiver you ever see / tight end. We were like, damn, bro's a little, too buff for that. He got the movement and the speed. He got everything, but we don't see it yet. You know what I'm saying? And so he's supposed to be redshirting, and it's week 5, and I think it's week 5. We're playing Chabot. And then, man, we're in a tight game. We end up losing by a touchdown. But long story short, it's the middle of the game. he's pissed off on the sideline, and fucking coach is like, man, who got some pride? Who gonna make a play on kickoff, man? And then Alex goes down there and he's like, man, I want to do this shit. Coach, we're like, okay, Stone Hands, we got you. So we're like, all right, hey, Stoney want to play kickoff. But but so we put him in there on kickoff. Shout out to our DC coach North, used to be DB coach and special teams coordinator at the time. You know, he throws Alex in there. It was one of those pride situations, you know what I'm saying? Like, kind of, you know, guys wasn't feeling it that day. And, you know, Alex was over here, you know, on his like, man, I'm going to show you how we do this shit. He went down on kickoff and just blew somebody's shit up. And, you know, guys that, you know, football historians, you know, if you've heard this Terrell Davis story, the former Broncos running back, he was about to, you know, quit football when he played for the Broncos. And he was in Japan, and they had a preseason game. And they were telling him like, hey, man, or not, they weren't telling him anything. They're just telling him he's going to play special teams. And he was about to leave and not play the game, but he couldn't get a flight out. So he shows up to the game and he blows somebody up on special teams. And they're like, hey, bro, you making the team. And then so he's surprised. And so Alex did this 2 times in a row. I'm like, tell us what that was like.
So I remember that like yesterday, man. That was actually one of like the biggest plays I've ever made, like football wise. But yeah, just putting me on kickoff. Like I had told Coach Santos, I was just like, man, I'm ready to get in, because I mean, I wasn't playing as a receiver and stuff, because, you know, I still had like a lot to learn being new to the game. But just rushing down and making the tackle, and then the following week playing San Mateo, I was moved to outside linebacker, and I also had a pretty good game. I think I had like a sack or 2, and then after that, like the rest is history.
Got you. And yeah, so yeah, like you said, the rest is history. I can kind of even remember that a little bit. So just remember, you know, throwing you in there at DN and, you know, opposite side of Mecca, and just having a great game. And that San Mateo team, you know, they had a great offensive tackle that ended up going to the University of Oregon. I can't remember his name, but yeah, you know, so that's kind of how that was over there too. So, you know, kind of flash forward a little bit, you know, we can start with you, Mally. Like, what was like recruiting like for you? Like, you know, trying to get yourself out to the 4-year and marketing yourself to like a university.
So with that situation, so I graduated, I was a mid-year.
Yep.
So I graduated 2017 of December. And so I was supposed to go to Eastern Illinois. So I was going to go sign with them, but my transcripts didn't transition over to that school. So I had to wait it out. And as I'm waiting it out, I'm just marketing myself, using all platforms, Twitter, email, Instagram, to like really push myself out there, because I was, you know, hungry for schools. And I had a whole bunch of D2s, but I didn't have any D1s other than Eastern Illinois, but they kind of took it away. And then I think my first like offer was Mississippi Valley State. So it's a little nice HBCU. So that was my first offer. And then from there, they kind of racked up. And then I got Delaware State after. Then I had, what was it? Central Connecticut. So I had like
a Morehouse offer or something like that too.
I had Morehouse too. And I was really strongly considering Morehouse too, which I possibly should have took. But, you know, it's all good. You know, it's in the past. But it was just a waiting game, man. Like it was a waiting game, and I was really expecting to sign like right after that season, but you know, things happen, and so my classes didn't really transfer over. Then I signed over to Delaware State. Was there for a few months until they told me like I can't go to the school. Like pretty much like I would have to go to a junior college to finish up some classes, because like my classes couldn't transfer over, like because like Yans is a quarter system. It's not like a semester.
It was like a weight thing. Got you.
Yeah, it's just like a weight thing, and like so. And then I came to found out that my counselor told me that like I can pretty much like if I want to play right off the bat that next season, 2018. I would have to go D2 if I wanted to play right off the bat. If I wanted to play D1, I'd have to wait. I would have to like because I already gave up a red shirt. I would have had to like literally just opt out one season, entire season. So so that was kind of frustrating. So I just said, you know what, screw it. Like I'll go D2 because D2, you can still go to the league out of the D2. It doesn't really matter what level. And that's what I came to realize. And I went to Saginaw Valley State and played a season there. And it was interesting just because like I played safety a majority of my life, right? And then over there they moved me to corner. Mm-hmm. And so like that was a whole different dynamic, man. Like,
got you.
But you know what? I started like my first game, like the first game, and we were ranked top 10 in the nation at D2. So like we had one of the best defenses in the country, and that's something I'm proud of.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's always a good experience, like no matter how it goes down, like just being able to get yourself that opportunity, go out there and compete and like have a good time at the college level or at the university. Like, it's a good time. You got to make the best out of it. I'm kind of like one of those guys, just like everybody else. You look back like, damn, I probably could have did a couple things different, but you can't dwell on those things. You just, you take that experience and that knowledge, and you use that, and you put that to the what you got going on now, and you guys are doing great. And let's talk about a little bit about your transfer process, Alex, and also back to Malachi really quick. You brought up a great point. So for the listeners, and I know we got players that listen, and so he brought up that he was using Twitter, emailing, things like that. So guys, when you're out here recruiting yourself and marketing yourself, yes, us coaches are going to make calls, but it's really important that you also market yourself. Because on our end we can make those phone calls, but the more the merrier, as they say, right? So like also send those emails, fill out those questionnaires, and DM those coaches. Put out your film as much as you can on our platforms. But Alex, let's talk about your recruitment. You know what I mean? I love talking about certain people's recruitment, and this is a good one.
My recruitment process was interesting, and it was also like I was very impatient. Like, so I mean, I know you remember this. During this, I think it was like during the season, I used to go in Coach Santos' office all the time, and I was like, Coach, I want to go to USC. Like, Coach, I want to go to Oregon. Like, Coach, I want to go here. Like, it was just I was always telling him where I wanted to go, and then once the season ended, and I got all these like awards. All league, all conference, whatever, like all that stuff. And I was like one vote away from being like all American or defensive player, like the conference. And then as time goes by, and I'm not getting any offers. I started to get stressed out. I was like, man, like what's going on? Like, how does a player who wins like all this stuff gets like 13 and a half sacks and like was almost leading like literally like the whole state in tackles as a defensive end? Like, how does he not get any offers? And time kept going by, and then you guys, like all the coaches at the end, especially you and Coach Santos, y'all kept telling me that once you get that first one, that's when they all come in. And I was like, bro, like that's cap. Like I was like, that's cap. Like I was like, that's cap. Like I'm ready to get like an offer. Like I see all these guys getting like scholarships and stuff like that. I was like, I'm ready for my turn. And then But I think during that time, I think what actually helped me get through it was like my roommates, like Malachi, Ed, like Anthony, and them. They were just saying that like everything is like God's time. You just got to be patient. Like your time will come, and everything happened for a reason. So then one day I'm on campus, I'm in class, and then Kansas texts me. They're just like, the dude's like, "Oh, you're on campus? Like I want to come like talk to you." And I was like, "Oh shit! Like this is Kansas. Like oh this is it's starting to get like big time." And then he comes in, he talks to me, and then he leaves, and then I go back to class, and then he comes back. He's like, "We're gonna give you an offer," and I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna give you an offer." I was like, "Wow, that's crazy," because I would have never like expected it to go that way. And then after I got that, I was already in talks with Colorado, and after I got Kansas to offer me, Colorado offered me, Florida Atlantic offered me, New Mexico State, Portland State. And then I started getting like more interest, especially after I signed to Colorado. I've taken a visit to Kansas and taking a visit to Colorado. I started getting more interest from like Washington, Ole Miss, and then I even got So I even got like Alabama a little bit at some point, but it was a tough process for me. But also like I enjoyed it. Like it's like that time when I was getting recruited. That's the time like I'm never gonna forget. And I want to like share it with other people that are in JUCO that are going through the same thing. That are like, I know a lot of people like usually after the season they get frustrated for not getting offers. But that's usually the time that like you don't worry about that. You just keep grinding as a player, and everything gonna fall in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of even like remember something as you're talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you were talking to Colorado the whole time and a few other schools during the recruitment, and I forget what game it was. You know what I mean? And speaking of the damn wrong arm, right? Maybe it'd have been DVC when they ran power. You know, they had a good night on us. But I remember the coaches hitting you up like, Alex, what's up with this play? You know, stuff like that. And I remember, you know, they're really tough on you. You know, and they weren't the first school to offer you either, but like, you know, I think, you know, that left like a good impression on you. You know, some people, you know, they don't enjoy that kind of critique from their coaches, but, you know, I always remember it because I'm like, damn, maybe I need to yell at this dude more.
Yeah. Like, it's actually crazy you mentioned that because Colorado was talking to me before Kansas was, and then I was like, how come these guys ain't offered me yet? And then I'll go on like the offers list and I see some of the guys that offered. I was just like, man, like I'm ready to get mine. Like I'm ready to get mine. Like I want to post it like how everybody wants to post theirs and all that stuff. And then one of the recruiting assistant that I was talking to, he was like, man, like you doing this, you doing that, like critiquing my game and all that. I was just like, man, like I don't know what else I need to do. Like I have 13 and a half sacks. Like what else do you want me to do? But then eventually after going to visit the head coach, Coach Mike, Coach McIntyre, he was able to give me an offer.
Got you. Man, that's crazy as hell. Yeah. So, what was it like when you moved over to Colorado? I know Malachi. You know, when he went over to his D1, he said that he was there for a few months, and then you know things got a little different, and you know he ended up switching to another school, and he ended up moving positions. Like, what was it like when you pulled up?
So you know, like obviously when you get I think like a lot of people, or I can at least like just talk like for me, but when I got to Scotland, got to campus, I was like, oh, like I thought I was the guy, you know, you're like, oh, I'm the guy, like I got a scholarship from Colorado, like they like me, all this, like I'm gonna come and like do whatever I want to do type stuff. And then once you get there and you realize that like once you sign that paper, it's like that's when the real work comes in. Like nobody cares about what star you were. Like you have to prove yourself on the field. Like all that stuff is like it's cool. It's cool on the internet to look up a guy that's like 5-star, but that stuff don't mean anything. Like I played against guys who were 5 stars that were terrible. And
so, are you saying that the internet is cap?
No, the stars are cap.
Gotcha.
All that stuff don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like there's
just politics.
Yeah, it's there's people out there who are like no stars, not even ranked. They just don't have like the opportunity to like showcase what they can do, you know. So
Gotcha.
like all that star stuff, it doesn't mean anything. But yeah, but going back to going to Colorado, it was very different. You know, mountains everywhere. Like I wasn't used to that, especially coming from Georgia. Georgia is pretty flat. Even Cali is pretty flat. But then I meant like not like flat. I meant like
but Colorado's like the Rockies, and they got some big ass mountains and stuff.
Yeah, I meant like elevation wise, it's pretty flat. That's what like I was kind of talking about. But yeah, I mean Cali got like mountains and stuff. It's like lower and stuff. But Colorado, like having to get adjusted to that altitude was tough, man. Like it was really hard. It was really hard. Even to this day when I go back out there, like if you like leave Colorado for a little bit and you go back and you try to train, it's that altitude gonna get to you. But one of the coolest things was our mascot, actually, Colorado mascot, Ralphie, playing in games and then running behind the actual buffalo. I would have never thought like in a million years I would do that. So it was a pretty you know, it was a great experience. It was a great.
You should go jogging with this guy then, man.
He's like Eric Berry, how he was scared of the horse. He's like, yo, that's a buffalo, bro.
He was like, let me be last in line and shit. What was it like, you know what I'm saying, playing in front of them big ass crowds? Like going from De Anza, you know what I'm saying, playing in front of a couple parents and, you know, Kuwan and them to going and playing, you know what I'm saying, in front of however many thousands. How big was your guys' stadium?
So our stadium held like, I think over like 50,000. But I remember the first game we played against Colorado State, we played in Denver Broncos Stadium. That's when I was like, wow, like I'm really playing like D1 ball. Like this is crazy. Like I'm in an NFL stadium. Like I went from De Anza to an NFL stadium. Like it was mind blowing. But then it got crazier. It actually got crazier because when we played Nebraska, the fan base at Nebraska was insane. Like you literally couldn't hear yourself think. It was like playing against Nebraska. It looked like fans were literally sitting on top of each other. Like that's how crowded it was, and it was a great experience both years that we played them. We ended up beating them though. I know Nebraska don't like us, but it's whatever. We ended up whooping them.
Whooping their ass. Y'all whooped their ass.
Yeah, we ended up whooping them. But it was a great experience. Like playing there, playing against USC, playing against UCLA, playing at Oregon. I mean, all those like, you know, teams that people dream of playing against. Like I was able to play against those teams, so that was a blessing.
Got you. And so like, you ended up having your pro day and all that. Like, what was that like?
Man, pro day was kind of not stressful, but you kind of think a little like too much, you know, like you think more than you really should because you know like, oh, I'm about to do all these in front of NFL scouts. But the good thing about it was I was training with the Colorado strength staff, and they prepared me like better than I think anybody would have prepared me for pro day. Mm-hmm. Like on bench, I was able to put 27 reps of 225. I think I can hit 30 plus now, but and then
so you still almost on my level, not official yet.
and then the 40, I ran a 4.49, and then there were other stuff that I did pretty well. But it was a great experience running in front of all those NFL scouts. It was crazy. It was crazy.
And you guys both played in the cold too, huh? Wasn't it cold as hell where you were at, Malachi?
Cold as hell, man. Like it was like 10. I was playing in like 10-degree weather, 5-degree weather.
Yeah. Did you guys practice inside?
Yeah, we had an indoor facility. Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's just like, honestly, it's different type of football played out there. Because like taking a licking out there is like, or giving a hit, it's different. Like it really is. Like you got to be like mentally just like tuned and just like you got to just be ill-willed because that cold is no joke. Mm-hmm. And just, you know, coming from Cali, like just born and raised out here, like where like, you know, weather is good throughout the entire year. You go over there and it's just snowing, you know, and played in snow and everything. So it's, yeah, a whole different ball game, man.
Yeah, I played my 4-year ball in Kansas, and I don't know if you guys had the same experience. Like my first, like, you know, when I got there, I came in the spring, so it was like in the 80s. It was hot.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Not in the spring actually. I came like in the summer.
Okay.
I can't. Well, I don't remember when I came, but when I came, it was hot. And then I remember my first, you know, spring or winter. I looked at my phone like this says 5 degrees. This could be wrong though. I'm telling my friend like, hey, bro, it be 5 degrees over here? And they're like, yeah, it'd be colder than that. I'm like, swear. So me and all the Cali dudes, we all hit up Walmart, bro. We got ski masks, gloves, all that. Bro, like, you have to put a lotion on your face, a gang of it, so your face don't get chapped. You feel me? I'm like,
and it's still cold though. That's the crazy thing. It's still cold.
Bone chilling cold. I you know, one thing too that I kind of skipped over, like, talk about like what is a spring ball like at a JUCO compared to a 4-year? You know, I mean, you guys can, you know, whoever want to go first, but you know, talk about that a little bit.
So spring ball at De Anza was, I mean, it wasn't like,
just as far as like what were you doing, and like compared to like how, I guess, the level of difficulty, right? Because I'll be honest, like in JUCO, I don't like, we run and all that, but I went to a 4-year too, and that was on some some boot camp shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was so the one thing I say is like the difference is like at that D1 level, you do more in practice. Like they have you do like more things like special teams. You do a lot of team and individuals, and you do like just stuff like that. But then at the JUCO, it wasn't much like that we really did, but it was like condition, and then we kind of just scrimmage and stuff like in JUCO and stuff. But like D1, it was like waking up like early, meetings. And then we go out there, practice. If it's cold, we still outside, like, or if it's snowing, we still indoors. So it was hard. Like, I mean, it's pretty hard at the D1 level, for sure, harder than like JUCO and stuff. But
how long would you say your day was, like, football wise? You know what I'm saying? Like, when did you start practice, and like when was you turning it in, like, back to your free time?
So usually we have like meetings at like 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but also if you were like someone who's hurt, you got to come in at like 6ish, like 5 to do like treatment. But yeah, so you have to come in pretty early, and then it will go on to about like 11 or 12. And then sometimes after that, your coach can call you up for like individual, like one-on-ones, like meetings and stuff, like just to kind of watch film and like critique your game.
What about for you, Mally? What was it like yours kind of spring at your 4-year?
So with spring, I didn't really get the full experience with spring. I came in late, so but I'll tell you about fall, like summer and fall. I'll tell you about that. Yeah, it's really no joke at that next level. Like, coaches don't give a shit. They don't give a shit what you come from, like whether you're a 5-star or no star coming in. Like, they don't care about your background or anything like that. You got to come in there and work. You got to put in work day in and day out. It's brutal, and really, like, it can be overwhelming, especially like transferring from a junior college to a university. You're instantly held to a higher standard. Mm-hmm. And so, when they gave me the playbook, I'm just like, wait, what? So just learning the playbook. And then not only that, but I think like the hardest thing was just like, because you're on a new team, you're getting introduced to a new team, and just like building up a connection with your position group, with your position coach. That's huge. And so it was very challenging, and I had to wake up Monday through Friday during fall camp, like at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And so we had practice. Then after that, we had meetings. Then after that, you have like a break for like 5 to 6 hours, but that's still not enough because you're just sleeping the whole time, right? You're just sleeping the whole time, and you wake up to more football, So, especially spring ball, summer and fall camp, especially fall camp, like it is, it's just you're sleep, eating, and breathing football. And if you're not down with that, like coming into that university, it's just not for you. Like, it's not for everybody. And I'll let you know that right now. I had to question myself like every day. I was just like, do I really want this? Like, cause it was honestly depressing at first. But then once you just like get into the rhythm of it, you just start to love it, and you just can't wait until like that first game rolls around. Like, and that's when it all pays off. So
I'm actually add on to that. Fall camp.
It's brutal because you're trying to tighten, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crunch time. It's crunch time. So they're trying to jam all the information, like all the drills, like team.
Condition you, like, some guys ain't even all the way ready. All that.
Yeah, exactly.
But fall camp, man. Bro, that's a whole nother beast. But especially for me, like being new to football, and it's crazy because during the summer, like summer is a lot of conditioning and stuff like that. I mean, like that wasn't like too bad, but once it got to fall camp, like all my boys are like, bro, you ready for fall camp? I was like, I mean, it's just football, right? Like, how bad can this be? Like, how bad can it be? Because I didn't know what I was gonna get, or what like I was about to like what I was getting myself into. So then fall camp comes around. You know, the first few practices are usually easy, helmets. So you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty simple. But you're on campus from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. And like that was when I had to really question if I love the game of football like that. Like I think everybody, like it hits everybody at some point, because you're on campus from like sunrise to sunset, and then you go to sleep and you wake up to another day of football from sunrise to sunset, and then like you really have to like sit there and think about it. Like, is this something you really want to do? But kind of like what Malachi said, like eventually, like the more and more it keeps going, you get adjusted, and then it becomes fun because you're just playing with your boys, like your brothers. So it just becomes a fun experience. But man, I'm gonna just tell everybody out there right now, like if you don't really love football, like if you're really not into it like that, and you're just playing it to play, and like I'm telling you, fall camp could break you. Like it really could. Like you have to be like mentally strong. You really have to be mentally strong for that. Like waking up 5 or like 6, and then going to bed at like 10 p.m. and then doing the same thing for 3 weeks. That can tear some people down.
It's really 80% mental, because physically, like you're gonna be there. That's why we're at the university. But yeah, it's all mainly just a mental game.
And the craziest thing about it is 100% of the roster is injured. Like everybody's injured.
So for the guys at home, you know what I'm saying? We're not saying that you're gonna have to play hurt, but you're gonna have a little bit of bumps and bruises along the way, and the expectation is always going to be the same, though. You know what I mean? And definitely coaches care about you, and they're going to take care of you, but there's going to be times where you kind of gotta thug it out, right? Like like you guys both kind of explained, like, man, that shit made you question yourself. And both of you guys saying it made me laugh, man, inside, just because I'm like, I tell players this, and I'm a coach now, and I now, like you guys said, when you get to a certain level, it just clicks, and like you guys are both fitness gurus, so you guys can work out all day, and like the training is nothing, but like going back to it, you like the mental aspect, like Mally was saying, it's 80% mental. Yeah, you out here rethinking your whole life. Like I still remember what my alarm clock sounded like, bro. Like I used to wake up at 5:30 and look at my ceiling like, do I love this game? Do I want to do this? Yeah. Like I always thought, like, man, I could just end this shit right now and go back to bed.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing that Malachi said, another thing is like once it gets towards the end of it, or actually like midway to the end, that's when coaches really expand the playbook. So it's like, oh, you got to really like learn this pretty quick. And then the first game is right around the corner, like, and stuff like that. But when it comes towards the end of it, it's fun. It's fun, man.
You got to develop being a student of the game. Like if you're not, like for all those of you listening right now, like I know some of y'all just have, raw talent. That can get you like to university, but then you can't just have raw talent, and just have that mental, like you got to be like really a student of the game. Like you got to watch film. You have to. Like if you don't watch film, you will get beat. Every other play, you will get beat, or every play, or you won't even play. So, exactly. So yeah, and on top of that, like at the university, it's much harder academically. And you have tutors, you need the help, you have all the help around you too. So it's just like there's like really no excuses at all. And they expect you to be in, and like we had time cards and stuff like that. So like you had to get tutoring, like at least like I think it was like 5 hours a week. Get your 5 hours or 10 hours a week. I forgot what it was, but
if Coach North is listening to this, he will listen to this eventually. He's gonna, this is something that he always likes to, hammer down on with incoming recruits. Like there will be a tutoring / study hall requirement anywhere and everywhere. And one way that one of my coaches always told me, like, hey man, we're gonna invest X amount of thousands of dollars, Colorado $1 million, a couple, I don't know, upwards of $50,000 to $100,000 for 2 years, right? And not just on the education part, but like all the trips and all that, that all adds up. And so with that investment, they like Mally said, they expect you to be in and and doing certain things. And I didn't have to punch the clock, but damn near, they're on you, right? And so at the 4-year level, there's a lot of expectations, not just to perform, but to graduate, right? And a lot of us, like guys, I drill that so hard on players, like straight up, if you don't even want to graduate or go to school, I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't care how nice you are, whatever, because like you're not like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like go trap after, or be a photographer or some shit. Like, come on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding. I love photographers. Shout out to y'all, man. We ain't done without the photographers and the videographers. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. But seriously though, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you gonna do, like, without the grades? Because you guys know, like, the second you start slipping up at the 4-year, they're gonna start cutting your money, cutting scholarships, and that's a real thing that we talk about with a lot of players. But after the grind though, like you guys kind of said, it does get sweet and it's fun. I'm proud. I feel like, somebody who went to war and survived and came back, I'll be telling all these dudes like, man, you soft, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done graduated, bro, did my springs, it's like I did time or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but real talk, it does feel like that. Like, you guys both know, like, that shit was a mental battle. But like, kind of like wrapping that up, like, what happened after that to, that brought you guys back together to, like, start getting into clothes and doing the fashion thing?
So the way it kind of happened was I have a friend in Colorado, and Ashley, she was actually making hoodies, like, so people would tell her what they wanted on hoodies and she would make them. And then I called Malika after. I was like, yo, Malika, like, you want to get a hoodie made, like, from her? Like, she could put any design you want. And then after I got off the phone with him, he actually called me back and he was like, shit, like, we might as well start our own stuff. And I was just like, I bet, like, we should just do it. And that's kind of how it got started. And then, eventually we had to come up with, like, the logo and, like, the name, like the name of it and stuff like that.
Yeah. And well, before that, I mean, me and Alex, like, since junior college, like, since we started living with each other, we've been talking, like, at least, like, 2-3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it's just not even about ball. Like, we're just, like, we're brothers. So, like, we talk about girls, school, like, the next hardest thing. But you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, really though, for the people that are listening, like, out of all the things I can remember in school, like, I can always remember my JUCO brothers, like, because that was a struggle. Like, because, like, in high school and before that, you're living with your folks. You're living with your folks, like, everything's, like, acclimated to you. But then at the junior college, otherwise, like, that you don't have anything, especially, like, we weren't from the area, so it was very hard. Like, he had to pay for me sometimes, I had to pay for him for food, and we had to share a room, like, with 3-4 other dudes.
It was like 7 of us in a 1-bedroom house.
So yeah, and then that built up a connection, and so we ever since that, we just we kicked it off. We talk almost every couple weeks, and so yeah, he called me a couple months ago explaining, like, how his friend is she makes shirts, she makes hoodies, and she's trying to start her own clothing brand. I was just like, you know what, we should start our own clothing brand. I think this is the right time to do it too, because we have a lot of downtime right now, because of this pandemic. A lot of people do. And a lot of people are dealing with, like, mental issues and like, just because, like, they got fired during this pandemic, or they just lost their jobs during this pandemic. So, like, it gets a lot of people just thinking, and, they're in their rooms just not even knowing what to do. And so this is something that's just, positive for everybody. And, like, for me and Alex, like, we believe in people. Like, period. We don't care if you're an athlete or not. Like, we really strongly care about men and women. So, so we came out with Too Gifted. So,
got you. Yeah. So, now it's pretty crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, we kind of started building our own brand as well, and you know, it was cool because you know we kind of did it at the same time, and you know, just seeing you guys take off and you know, kind of get started. That was dope. You know what I'm saying? And seeing my boy Juju Smith-Schuster dancing around with the Power Rangers wearing your stuff, like how the hell you guys pull that off? That's what I want. That's what the fans at home really want to know.
Yeah, we pulled that off. No, I know him like personally through my boy that went to USC. He played football with him.
Okay.
So yeah, he's a real cool guy. Really cool guy. He's exactly how like you would like picture him, you know, like on social media, you know, how he's like just kind of goofy dancing. He's just like that in like real life. So, and I had him on Snapchat, and so like when we started this clothing brand, I was just like thinking like, who do I know that can like really promote our brand, right? And I was just like, I don't really know too many like famous people, right? But then I'm scrolling through my Snapchat, I'm just like, holy, like I got freaking Juju Smith-Schuster, like. So I hit him up, and I was not expecting him to get back to me at all, but he did, and like he really liked the meaning behind our brand, and I think that's like what got a lot of people. So from there, it just everything blew up. We had like how many people like hit us up after Juju Smith?
We had a lot of guys. I mean, some of them are probably even gonna get drafted tonight, or even like tomorrow. So
some guys are in the league already. So, but yeah.
So like, what is the meaning behind the brand? Would you tell them? I need to start telling people my meanings now. You know, so I need to get mine ready.
I came up with the name Too Gifted because, like Malachi said, like in this pandemic and stuff, like I think a lot of people I think once like COVID hit and it was like everything went on lockdown, I think a lot of people just like you said, like sitting around like trying to figure out like what to do. And a lot of people getting fired. And I think Too Gifted is like perfect for like it's perfect. Like you say, like it's a positive message like in the community. Like, yeah, even though we're in this pandemic, like you have to understand that like you have a gift, like you were like God bless you with a certain gift like this. Like there's a purpose like in your life, like there's something you have to do. So I think that was really like the main thing behind the meaning, that like everybody got a gift, and like they're just kind of it's really up to you to like utilize it and do big things
and start a business. Start a business with your gift. You know, this is a perfect time to like improvise too. You got to.
Yeah. And you know, you brought up something hella crazy, man. Shit. So you know, you said you had Juju Smith-Schuster as a friend, and you just slid in his DMs, right? Like basically, right?
Yeah.
And you got a reply, you know, the rest is history. And so, you know, you guys kind of see me going around coaching and doing all that. You know, I kind of started on the same way, bro. And like, it's crazy that you said that because, you know, when I started like coaching with my uncle at Giant Skills, shout out to them. You know, my uncle, he owns Giant Skills. His son, you know, played for USC. He's a coach there as well now. And, you know, he's super connected and all that. Right. Yeah. So I DM'd this guy because I seen they're having a camp in the Bay Area. And they're like, damn, that's crazy. You DM'd us. Somebody brought your name up. And like, I was like, shit, I just wanted to volunteer. He was like, well, shit, why don't you come coach it? And I was like, swear. And so I came up, coached it. Next thing you know, I'm coaching hella camps, you know what I mean? And like coaching travel ball, and #1 fucking player in the country's there, and like just bruh dudes. But you know, back to the moral of the story is, you know, like people that are listening is you never know what can happen off the straight DM shot. You know what I mean? Like Twitter, especially, or like especially if your friends on like Instagram and Twitter, if they following you back, you know, you can't really miss. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you take the shot. If you don't do it, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like this happened for me. Like we started our brand. Shit, when did we start the brand, guys? Like in the beginning of the year, but you know, like it had nothing to do with, you know, like it was just more like a health and fitness and kind of like on some positivity stuff like you guys, but you know, kind of spread even more after I shot a DM and started again, you know, coast to coast with it. And like back to the main point though, like you never know what can happen, if you just got to shoot that shot though, right?
Yeah.
So
every opportunity you can, man, and you got to throw yourself out there.
And then like another thing I was gonna say is like with all this like social media stuff, like TikTok blowing up now. I mean, that's another way to kind of, you don't know who sees your stuff off of TikTok. There's a lot of people with 1 million+ views. Like you just never know who shares it and stuff like that. So that's another like that's a like great platform if you want to get like your business out there or anything that you're doing.
Definitely. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Just like the power of social media, you know what I'm saying, can not only get you a scholarship, but it can definitely get you a check, man. And like kind of like with the brand stuff, like for us, I know it's really hard to like just get things off the ground, or people are always like, oh, why don't you make this? Why don't you make that? Like, talk a little bit about like, like the work of actually, getting things done and like, getting shipping and doing all that work. How is it, like actually doing the physical part of it? Like,
yeah, I could talk about it a little bit more, just because, so it's based out in San Diego. So we started this whole process throughout in San Diego, and like, oh man, like the first time we you're bound to mess up when you're starting a business. So like the first time, like we came up with the name, finally found a name after like weeks. After weeks, found a good name. Then we found a logo. Thank you, Micah Phil, my brother. He's the one that like created the logo for us. And after that, we just, stuck with it and ran with it. And like we came out with hoodies. That's the first thing we wanted to come out with. And the process was not easy. Like just trying to figure out like the proper material, because we're gonna start off with just screen printing at first and doing it on ourselves. And he wasn't here at the time; he was in Georgia, so it was just me. So I'm over here trying to like figure out this screen printing shit, and like it just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't it. It wasn't it. It took way too long. It's like an all-day process for one hoodie. So kept messing that up. Then I found another alternative. Found a manufacturer, and Eric, and so he prints out all our stuff. So everything's pretty much screen printed. It's screen printed, and so we came out with like what three hoodies right off the bat, right? Yeah. So our beige or white and black, and he's wearing one of them, a black one.
There you go.
And it was a difficult process, especially for me, because he wasn't here to help out. Like it was just all on me. I had to make get all the hoodies made. I had to ship all the hoodies. I had to take all the orders because we didn't have a website at the time. So we really had to start from scratch. And it was a lot of pressure and just a lot of frustration. But it's starting to work out. I mean, it started to work out. I mean, we ended up being on TV, and we have, significant people like Juju Smith-Schuster, Pat Furthermuth who is gonna get drafted today.
I seen you guys on the news and stuff down there too. That was pretty dope.
Yeah. I was just saying that. So yeah, it's moving pretty fast. Eventually we're gonna give it out to Tua and Travis Kelce too. So he wants one. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do I get my merch in that little package?
No, you got a hoodie, right?
I got hoodies, shirt, man. I do everything. So
okay.
Yeah. So man, we do a little everything, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he said, you know what I'm saying.
But like,
we need some apparel though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I already got 2 gifted stuff, man. Y'all gotta stop playing and shop with me, baby. I already got my 2 gifted apparel.
We got it.
Yeah, we gonna get it. We gonna get it.
Oh, believe me,
Believe me.
But kind of what like you were saying, how like people always like try to give you like an input of like what they want. I mean, we've been hearing that since like we started like the whole clothing line stuff. People are like, I want sweats, like I want long sleeves, I want a beanie, socks. I'm like, man, like that stuff takes steps. Like there's certain steps we have to go through before we get to like what everybody wants,
Gotcha.
I mean, but everybody being patient with us, so that's another good thing.
But not everybody is willing to be patient too, and that's another thing.
Yeah,
and that's what kind of makes it frustrating. But you can't always satisfy other people's, wants and needs. So
absolutely, absolutely. And you guys got like a website, right? And an Instagram too, right?
Yeah.
Is it @2gifted? Like the words like on you guys' shirt @2gifted, or
it's @2_gifted.
yeah.
Got you. Yeah. So if you guys are listening, follow @2gifted. You know what I'm saying? Follow @believe me. But also today's another crazy day, right? Today's the NFL draft. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, their dreams are coming true right now. And Alex, last year, you went through this process a little bit. Alex is an undrafted free agent right now. Like, what was that like for you?
I was very like mad I was just mad all the time because I was like, I mean, I know I didn't have like the best numbers at Colorado, but I know like my pro day, like I did pretty good in my pro day, and I wasn't expecting like nothing like me getting drafted or whatever. So that was like I knew I wasn't gonna. I didn't have a high expectations of getting drafted, but then after COVID hit, then that's when things really went south, because it was like, oh, NFL like teams are not inviting nobody for a workout and all these stuff. So then my doors of playing last year was pretty much like shut. Mm-hmm. And then having to go a whole year still training, because I have a great supporting cast, like my family and like Malachi and like my friends from back home, like people from JUCO that I went like to school with. Even you be hitting me up sometimes checking up. So just that is still helping me like grind every day. Cause like I said, like before in the, on this like interview that like, you just can't never give up. And then also like everything happens for a reason. So, I mean, I know a lot of people are like upset about COVID and stuff, and I was too, but then now I'm just like, I'm over that. I'm just like, it must have happened for a reason, at least for me, but I just keep working out, and I know eventually I will get my foot in the NFL. And also like everybody who thinks, and then another thing is this, just because you see someone getting picked in the first, like someone getting picked right now, first pick, and you're not getting drafted, you're undrafted free agent, that doesn't mean anything. Like that stuff, there's a lot of guys in the first round who are bust, and there's a lot of great players who are undrafted. So it's all about like how hard you work and how bad you want it. So all that stuff don't mean nothing. Like it doesn't mean anything.
Absolutely. And like you see guys like James Harrison and other guys even today who've been on the practice squad, or took them a while to get their foot in the door, but they put in their time for years, and they eventually make teams and even get deals and stuff like that. So definitely I'm glad that you're still pursuing it, and like you still have that great mindset about it, because I think that's the absolute right mindset to have. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. Some guys it takes them a few seasons, but they eventually make it, and some guys bounce around on a gang of teams before they finally get their foot in the door.
Yeah, and like I know there's a lot of guys out there, because I was like one of those guys who are extremely frustrated, because I was frustrated when teams would hit me up last year like, oh yeah, we might invite you for a workout, we might not, like we might do this, we might not, and then it never came. So I was just like, in my head, I was always like, okay, like you're texting me, like you're checking up on me every day, but I can't get a workout. And then I just kind of got past that, and I was just like, I'm gonna just focus on me, and I'm gonna just do what I can control, because that stuff is out of my hands. I can't do anything about that. All I know is like, just when they call like my phone, I just got to be ready.
Mm-hmm. And so talk a little bit about like I know you did the spring league last year. Like, what was that like? And like, was that right after like the draft? It was during COVID, of course, I know that, but like what was that like? How did that come about?
So my agent was able to find a spring league for me, and then it was actually like pretty good that I was able to play in it. It just seemed like I was so frustrated during the summer, and it just seems like for a window like that to open, it was a blessing, because I played outside linebacker at Colorado. I was little, 240, I was small, and then I told my agent, oh, like, I don't want to be outside linebacker anymore. I want to be a true defensive end. Like, I played at the ends, but like, I just want to rush off the edge, like, because that's what I get after the quarterback. And then, so then I end up putting weight. And right now I'm weighing, I think like 265. So I was playing in the spring league at 265. And, you know, I was able to put great tape together. And then, but now here I am. I'm still in the same situation I was last year, but I'm not even stressed about it. I'm gonna just stay positive. I mean, I can't be rocking too gifted and be like upset over here when we were just saying that's a positive message in the community. So yeah. I'm gonna just stay positive, man, and just keep working out.
And
yeah, definitely. And so, what was it like playing in the spring league? Actually, I think you know somebody that played with him, right?
Nick Zimmerman. He was on.
Yeah, I know Nick. He was on the D line with me. Shout out to my boy.
That's my guy, man.
Oh, it's crazy because I was literally about to ask you if you knew him because you guys he kind of like y'all look alike a little bit.
Oh, you gonna pull the
Nah, they really do, but
so you just hey, you look like Francis Ngannou, man. It's all good, man.
But so the way the spring league happened was, so when I got there, I mean, obviously, you know, when you go somewhere new and you're playing against guys you never went up against, you kind of get like the jitters, like you kind of like, oh, I need to do this first day. And, you know, then playing against guys who played in the NFL and then some of the guys who played in like big time colleges. And I saw that like I was competing with those guys. So I was like, if those guys can play in the NFL now, for sure it can, like, you know, but it was a fun experience. I mean, COVID ended up messing it up a little bit, but man, it was a fun experience.
Yeah, shoot. I seen you guys training. I almost thought you guys were gonna do it again. And the highlights from the first season look really good, man. You was out there balling, playing fast and physical. I was like, that's the guy that I taught right there, man.
Yeah, like it wasn't like much thinking, you know. I mean, especially being new to the game, I think that's one of the things that kind of I wasn't able to show my true like abilities sometimes because like, you know, defensive end and outside linebacker are two, they're pretty different. Like you covering and like as an outside linebacker, you got to think a little more. You got to be like, you know, understand like offenses a little more. Like defensive, it was just, man, like, I know you're fast. I know you're strong. Like, get off the edge and just get to the quarterback. You don't got to do no thinking on that. But so I was able to play fast. So that for sure, like, helped me. And I think off of, like, the tape that I got from last year, that made a lot of teams at least interested.
Got you. So I got a question for you guys. So I guess it's two questions. So what player would you compare yourself to? And like who's your favorite player at your position?
Go ahead. You go first, bro.
For me, personally, I want to say off the top of my head, the Honey Badger.
Okay.
And it's just a simple fact that he was undersized, you know? Like he's not like the most like athletic dude because he ran like a 4.5. I ran like a 4.5. You know, we're a little bit shorter guys, shorter spectrum. So I just modeled my game after him. But I was more of like a tackler. So,
got you.
You know,
I remember that too. Actually, you're definitely a sure tackler. You sticking your nose into everything. So I can definitely I can certify that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, really, I want to say him, like for sure. Him, and then another guy I model my game after is Carl Joseph.
Got you.
Yeah. Which is he's a younger cat, but
I know. Yeah, he's a dog.
He's a sure tackler. He likes to lay the wood. I like to hit, you know. So
there we go. What about you? Besides me, Alex, who do you model your game after?
It's funny. That's funny. So when I was like lighter, obviously when I played at Colorado, I was a huge I actually still am a very like big Von Miller fan. So he was my guy. You know, I like how he comes off the edge, how he bends like off the edge, and like he has a million moves he can hit. And I just always just liked the way he played. And then after putting on weight, and looking the way I look, you know, I had to.
Looking the way I look.
I had to, you know, I like Khalil Mack. I like Khalil Mack, and I think one thing that we do like the same. I think like I started getting like a long arm in my game, and I think that's like one of the things I do. But yeah, though I'll say those two. But also like I watch like a lot of defensive ends, J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, like outside linebackers like that. All those guys.
Yeah, I see you taught your brother how to long arm and stuff. I actually remember some stuff that when you came during like a break, we worked out one day. I remember some stuff he was talking about, kind of just the whole protective pack, all that good stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I listen. You know what I'm saying. I'm out here. You know
I gotta come out there and in San Jose when you guys do your little pass rush stuff. I mean, maybe I could tell some guys some things that I know, and maybe they can also tell me some things that I don't know. So yeah, you know, it goes both ways.
Hey, I have a question though. What about y'all? Who do y'all model your game after?
Oh, me when I played, shit, I'm a little bit older. Damn.
Besides,
no, when I played, honestly, bro, like I had a little bit different style than Warren Sapp, but like, you know, I always wanted to be like him because I remember when I was little, I would see like his helmet flying off and he's still out there tackling dudes and just being kind of crazy. And like he had kind of a little bit of speed. And like you said, he wasn't like the tallest D lineman or nothing like that. He was just a dog. Yeah. And that was my first number. It was 99. That was my last number I wore in college too. So, you know, I always try to be a dog, but like I was a little bit different of a D tackle, you know, like my sophomore year at De Anza, I had 8.5 sacks and I was injured for 2 games. And I think we had like a team that had to cancel. So in 9 games or 10 games, I had 8.5 sacks. And I don't think that's like, you know, the regular for D lineman in the 10-game season, you know what I'm saying? So I think I'm different in that aspect, but I always wanted to be, I guess, similar to Warren Sapp with that nastiness. And you know, a newer guy, I guess I say would be like a Dominican Sue. Like I ain't as tall as him, but, you know, everybody respect me in the middle, period. You know what I'm saying?
I would say for me, I played on both sides of the ball. I was kind of like utility. I played receiver and tight end on offense, and my game, honestly, my favorite wide receiver is Larry Fitzgerald, but I always wanted to be like Plaxico Burress, just because the way he played, it was just like, you know, he wasn't the fastest or nothing, but it was like, you're not finna guard him. And like, you know, when he took the Giants on that run, it was just like, you feel me? Like Plax was killing everybody that year, the Giants won the Super Bowl. And then on defense, I would say, man, my favorite player was Aldon Smith. Just because, like, man, if you seen him in real life, like, he was just some tall, lanky cat, but he was, like, with the hands, he was like, come on, dog. Like, I'm sure he'll whoop some cats in a street fight because his hands are so good. So, you know, like, I would just try to model my game off of Aldon Smith, man, because, like I said, it was nothing fancy, but the hands were so great that, like, he looked, like, stronger than what he was and faster than what he was, but, like, he was killing cats with the hands. And it was just like, man, like, he was playing with some real swag and finesse, but, you know, Aldon Smith's kind of a crazy guy, so.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like we threw a little bit of older names out there. You know what I'm saying? I think you know, you definitely always got to have somebody to not really model yourself after, but you know, you got to envision yourself balling somehow, right? And you know, everybody got some different attributes, and you know, saying about the attributes, you know, Alex over here saying he gained weight, and I think people at home probably like, oh man, you put on weight, you trying to go back to the league. Actually, you know, he got them African genes. When he gained 20 pounds and gained 2 more abs when he put on the 20 pounds. You know what I mean?
2 more abs and run a 4.25 now.
That's what I'm saying. So people at home, when he says he gained weight, he got buffer.
Literally.
Hey man, God bless you, man.
Crazy, man.
Crazy.
He's 265 right now. And he's like, I don't look 265.
Yeah, one of actually my brother's best friend, he's from Sierra Leone. His name's Alex too. He's just buff as hell, right? He put on all this weight. He's 265, chiseled, bro, looking like Thor out here, or like the damn Rock, like 265, bro. Like, what you been eating? Soda and Chick-fil-A, like, bro, they got you looking like that, like. God damn.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. That's actually crazy.
I'm not gonna cap though. Shoot, Malachi been fit his whole life too. Shoot, Well, you know what I mean? These guys, you know, you guys
I
both
had to
training
work
people?
a little extra hard though, man.
Of course. So are you guys still both training people, or
Pardon?
are you still training people?
Yeah, right now I'm just training online.
Got you.
But this past summer I was training some pretty significant dudes actually. I was training a starter at Stanford, who was a corner, and then was training the safety at Stanford, and then also another safety at San Jose State, and then one at San Diego State.
Okay. And an NFL free agent, me.
And then an NFL free agent, and then a couple other guys at smaller schools. But yeah, I was not expecting it, like really though, because like during the pandemic, I lost my job, came back home to Fresno. I was just like, you know what? I gotta utilize my gifts, right?
Yeah.
So you know, I hit up one of my boys or actually no, he hit me up randomly. He's like, hey, can I get some training off you? And then from when I started training him, then a whole bunch of guys just came to me.
Wow, that's
but it's crazy because you like really notice a difference on like who wants it and who doesn't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just just simple shit, like just if they're gonna follow like, you know, if they're gonna follow like the guidelines you have set for them, or you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's like a program, and you know, as somebody who trains people and somebody like, you know, you've been doing it for a little bit, I'm sure now you know that, you know, it works, but it's always up to the person to follow that and, you know, and do things, you know, just like you wrote it, because you can tell like if they didn't, right? If I didn't follow the plan for 3 months or whatever, you would know damn well if I came looking like, you know what I'm saying? However, like, you know, a certain way.
Yeah. So
but, yeah.
It was fun. It brought me back to my old times of playing ball and everything like that, and it made me remember a lot of stuff as I'm like coming up with drills and, you know, researching and stuff like that.
And you brought up another great point too, is like, you know, you're utilizing your gifts, and I think a lot of people, you know, like, and I feel the same way, you know, like just starting the training thing, and even like our own brand, like you guys said before, you guys always wanted to open a business, but I'm sure you open up a brand, you guys too also probably thought, man, I always been a crispy ass, you know what I'm saying, dude, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I do, bro. Like, come on now. Like,
crispy.
You know what I mean? Am I lying, or you know?
No, you keeping it 100.
Like, do you start a brand and not think that you kind of fresh? Like, you know
like, how does that work?
You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are the humblest fresh guys I ever met, man. Come on now.
Hey, likewise, man.
Hey, that's what's up though. You know, last thing, you know, before, you know, I guess you guys out of here. Let's just talk like we'll just recap the NFL draft a little bit. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. It's going on right now, but who's your guys' favorite teams? Oh, I know Alex is a bandwagon Patriots fan, but
wait. How you just gonna come on me crazy like that?
What?
I like the Patriots because I mean I had a reason why I like them. It's not like I'll just say bandwagon.
My bad. I'm just making fun of you.
I know that's
got emotional hella quick. My bad.
I like the Patriots though because of Tom Brady. I mean, just kind of like his story, you know, and then just how like now he's like the greatest quarterback of all time.
Got you.
I know he came everything.
What's your team, Allie?
To be honest with you, Tia, I don't even have a team, man.
It's all good.
It used to, like, you know what? I used to like cheer on like Niners, Raiders, like, you know, just Bay Area sports, but I don't know. Now it's just like, for me, it's just players.
Got you.
For me, so I cheer on like a few cats on both sides of the ball.
Yeah. What y'all think about Trevor Lawrence going number 1? Is that like for sure? Like I already knew that. It sounded like they was talking about they already knew it on the draft, but you know what I mean, I think I would have went somewhere else.
Man, I think.
I mean, like they needed a quarterback, but like I don't know, bro. Like
who would you have picked?
I thought that Fields was going to go first because, you know, like not just because he was at Ohio State, but like usually old boy goes with the athlete. And you seen him get smacked. I don't know, bro. When they lost the Natties and he's getting smacked around, it didn't feel good to me. Like, you know, seeing somebody looking flustered out there, like, bro, he can be flustered in the league. Like, I don't just look at the wins and the losses or whatever. Like, there's a lot of shit that goes into it. Look at Tua's ass. He's balling, but some people are over here like, you know what I'm saying?
It's kind of like the same thing with like Joe Burrow. He got into the league and he was under like one of the worst offensive line. He got sacked 50 plus times. Like you can't just have your franchise quarterback running around like that in the pocket, But
they didn't even draft an offensive lineman either. They got Jamar Chase, the receiver, for him. Like, well, he probably had a say in that, like, draft my homie, draft the other member of Too Gifted, bro. We need this.
Man, any team that's willing to give me a shot, man, I'm there.
Yeah, definitely, right? Shoot, the Patriots drafted Mac Jones. What do you think about that?
I thought I was like, that actually kind of surprised me. Like, especially bringing Cam Newton back. I thought it was going to go with like a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you never know what's going to happen in the next 2 or 3 years.
But Cam's kind of shaky to me. The past few years, he's been kind of shaky. So I feel like Mac Jones is a good system quarterback.
Yeah.
Like he'll be like kind of like the next Tom Brady because he moves just like him, like.
And let's be real, Cam, he's always been part of like teams with a great defense and a great run game. So I always think he was overhyped. Me personally, I loved him in college. I thought he was the best thing ever. But in the league, I just knew he couldn't do it. Like, I got a funny story, bro. One time, I flew to DC. It was the day of the Super Bowl when they lost to the Broncos. Yeah. I'm flying to DC, and these guys are talking. I don't know. I think I'm talking to my wife. She's like, "Who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?" I'm like, "Oh, the Broncos going to smash the Panthers." And we're flying into Carolina. Some dude, he literally leans over like, "Are you stupid? Do you know anything about football? Carolina about to smack Denver." I'm like, "Okay." And then later on, they get whooped. I'm like, my wife is like, "Man, that guy didn't know shit." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why you just don't, what I mean? Don't motherfuckers on the plane."
Yeah, that defense overwhelmed him. Like, he was just out there stressed out.
But what y'all think about the Niners picking up Trey Lance?
This whole draft kind of surprised me because I thought Justin Fields was gonna go because I thought it was gonna be Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and then Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. But I know because I feel like you can even like see it like when watching the draft. It seems like he was kind of mad that he went that late.
Mm-hmm. Like he went to the Bears.
He thought he was gonna go early. I thought he was gonna go early.
And he played a bit against bigger competition, And he made a name for himself from the very jump, like freshman year,
Yep. But then also like another thing is like if you pay attention to like a lot of Ohio State quarterbacks, like some of those guys who went to the league like didn't pan out.
Yep.
So I mean,
and shoot, it looks like you probably played against 2 of the first offensive linemen that came off the board as well. Offensive lineman from Oregon. We talked about Penei Sewell. So he actually, used to train under Giant Skills, the company that my uncle owns. I don't know how frequent it was, but, he used to come through quite often. And you also got to play probably against Elijah Vera Tucker from USC. So,
I played against those 2 guys. They're like both of them were actually they're pretty great players. So it doesn't surprise me that they got picked this high.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, man. Any scouts or the wide receivers coach from the Ravens, Coach Dub? You was on the show before, man. We don't ask for too many favors, but give my boy a call, man. Ravens, holler at my boy, man. And
man, hopefully, man. Playing with Lamar Jackson, playing with like on the same team as Lamar Jackson would be amazing.
Yeah, man. If that happens, just where to send the jersey, man. But
I already know.
But, so we got a 2 gifted guy that got drafted 19th overall.
Okay.
Jamin Davis.
Gotcha.
Linebacker for Kentucky. So he's actually representing our brand.
Nice.
He got our 2 gifted gear and everything. He shouted us out. So
hey, shout out to Jamin Davis, man, linebacker, Kentucky. I got to cancel the shout out because he playing for the Redskins. I'm a Cowboys fan, so Jamin, congrats, but it's beef now. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm just kidding, but hey, that's what's up, man. Like, and that's kind of like the power of being an athlete and also like social media and the network. So how did you meet him? Was it just through the network or what?
Yeah, he reached out to us on DMs on Instagram because he saw that he was training actually with Pat Furthermouth. which he should have got drafted the first round, but he'll be drafted tomorrow.
That's what's up.
Yeah. And then once they see like Juju, that kind of like, makes it stand out just a little bit more, makes us a little bit more like intriguing. So
if you could get your guys' gear to anybody for sure, and they would rock it and post it right now, who would you send your stuff to? If you knew you could just give it to them right now and they'll post it. Who?
Drake.
Easy. Oh yeah, for sure. Me too, bro. What?
Really?
Drake? You who?
That was athletes. I was thinking LeBron or OBJ. They got the most clout right
anybody
now.
Though. No, they said I ain't just rocking at athletes. Anybody. I was thinking Elon Musk or something too, but
the reason. I mean, the reason why. I mean, the reason why I really just said Drake was because like I haven't really met someone who doesn't like him. But like LeBron got mad haters. I mean, I'm not saying that's the reason I wouldn't send it to him, but you know how it is. Like he has.
But if you got that one for sure, you could send it right now.
I'm sending that to Drake because I mean, he's close friends with those guys anyway. So I mean, either way, LeBron or Drake, like the other person gonna get it, or the other person gonna see it. So
you too, Mally, Drake.
You know what? I think. Yeah. No. You know what? No. They call one of the Kardashians. Or Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner for sure. Like she would. She would.
Send it to Black China.
Nah, but yeah, it'd be one of the Kardashians or the Jenners or something like that. They pretty much own social media. They run the whole thing. So
they got it popping.
Y'all got the next person. Juju was still on social media. I mean, y'all there, man.
But my daughter knew the dance. I showed her the commercial. She was like, "Oh yeah, I know this. I know that. I know." I'm like, that's how crazy social media is.
Yeah.
Fucking TikTok. God damn.
That's exactly what I was saying,
man. Especially now because we have, everybody got downtime. It seems like so. Everybody's over there just scrolling. Just
15-hour screen time right now.
Yeah.
But kind of going back to what you were saying about the camp and stuff, man. I gotta come out there and support, man, for real.
Yeah, we would love to have both of you guys come out. You know what I'm saying? Right now we do have DBs out there every now and then. Our defensive backs coach, Coach Amoko. I don't know if you guys ever met him, but
yeah.
He played at University of Oregon, and to me, I consider him one of the top wide receiver DB coaches in I ever met. And not just because he's my friend and we work together at De Anza, but like, he coaches one of the top 7-on-7 programs in California. They ranked him number 1 in like 14 or 10-year-olds. And, he's also training NFL guys. His brother, he has a twin brother, GA at Wyoming, and he just does a good job. And we would love to have you guys out though. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of young talent that, could use molding from guys like you. And, one thing that with our brand, what we try to bring is like not just the clothes and all that, but just like I think I'm a solid guy, and I just try to also promote that with the kids. Like I'm not that coach who's over here trying to hey bro, like it's $30 every time you want to pull up, or like I'm only going to repost your film because like it's good and it could get me somewhere, anything like that. Like I just do it. I just straight up love for the kids and stuff like that. So and we're people who look like them, right? Like all of my kids aren't like regular rich kids over here paying for training and all that. Like I do have a few who I train privately, but Saturdays is all for free, and a lot of our kids can't afford it, and they also come in to eat food because like not everybody got it like that. So and that's what we do. We're people who look like the kids, and who are really genuinely there for them. I ain't charging nobody on Saturdays or nothing. So and even like Melo, you guys see that he comes out. He's mixing it up with some of the top players. There's D1 guys out there, D2 guys, JUCO, 8th grade All-Americans who are really good.
No lie. 8th grade got some 8th graders, bro, that are killing it out there.
I know. I seen it. He was showing me. I mean, like I've seen some of the stuff. Like that, like y'all posted stuff. Like man, some of those kids are big, man.
Yeah.
Like how you in the 8th grade or like 7th grade and you're that tall, like, and you weigh down. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, shout out to Big Champ and Jared of the Pop-Up Boys and the other Uso from Hawaii. I can't remember his name right now, but Big Champ and Jared are about 6'4", 6'5", 8th graders. Yeah. Big Champ is probably like 6'5", 6'4", 300. Jared, he got to grow into his body, but that's gonna be Gronkowski. And the kid from Hawaii, he's 6'6", 300, seventh grader. Next big thing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he said he wanted to see you at the pop-up. So,
man, I can't wait to get out there and work with y'all, man.
You practice on Sundays out in LA too, bro. We got to get you to one of those, man.
Definitely.
Those are Sundays.
You said on Sundays?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, through shout out Giant Skills too, by the way, any offensive, defensive linemen, especially you high school guys listening, you guys want to, work on your craft to get better, tap in with Giant Skills. We're a nationwide brand, and, Obalimi, we also work together with them. So, just holler at any of us at Giant Skills Athletics on Twitter, Instagram, same thing with Obalimi. And, but yeah, anytime you guys would ever want to come out, shoot, we'd love to have you guys. And I don't think you guys are regular guests, right? You guys been there, done that, and are on to the next phase of your guys' life and your career. So, definitely something that people need to see. And anything you want to leave us with before we close out here?
Man, shout out to all my boys who helped me get like to where I'm at right now. Shout out to the fan. Shout out to Deanza. Man, you guys are the first school to give me really like a chance to play football. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Colorado. Shout out to all the coaches that's helped
especially
me become
Coach
the player
Tia.
that I am.
Especially Coach Tia, you've been a real one since day one, man.
And then also follow me on Instagram, Rushing the _QB.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What about you, Mally? What's your guys' app?
Pardon?
Yeah, what's your Instagram, Mally, so we can have them follow you?
Oh, it's fit_by_foot. So BYFOOTE. So
yeah, and we have a lot of players actually that are in the San Diego area. One of my guys, he committed to UNLV. He was on the show too a few weeks ago. Sebastian McQuigg, shout out to you. He's from San Diego, like Southeast, I think, Patrick Henry High School, big 6'5" DN. So, hey, any players that are listening to this podcast, man, shoot, tap in with these guys. You guys might be able to get some work in one day. They're in San Diego. I know that, you guys are on your, your guys' too gifted movement right now. But, if you guys ever are, doing the training thing, shoot, maybe you guys could link up with some of these guys out there.
Yeah, I train as it is. So I'm willing to train whoever. But just know that they're going to work. They're going to work. They're going to put in that work.
He's a DB.
And I don't play.
He's a DB learning how to be a DN now. Learning a few drills, put me through a few stuff. This shit's helpful, Anything is helpful.
Well, what I really incorporate is fast twitch.
Yes, sir. So
fast twitch, like just because everything is just, every an average play lasts like 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds, right? So like, you got to have that fast twitch. So I've been really working on that with him and speed and agility working.
Yes, sir. So, fit by foot, gonna get you them fit feet.
Yes, sir. Certified, baby. Certified.
Yes, sir. Any last words from you, Coach T2?
None, man. I appreciate you guys' time, man. It's a pleasure, getting to meet y'all and hear about y'all backstories. Yeah, man. Like, wish nothing but success for y'all, and we definitely gonna link up soon. Most definitely.
We'll take a trip out there. Actually, soon.
Whenever.
Soon. Our birthdays are coming up. Like we're a week apart, which is crazy.
May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
May 11th. So
hey, let us know. You guys know that the most popping club in San Ho got the head of security is OBM. So you know what I mean. We got you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, no, I'm not even lying to you. Hey, shout out to y'all at Club Myth. Kids, stay out the streets, man. But hey, if you're over 21, they'll see you at the spot. Hey, shout out to my boy Asif Ali, the host of the 81 podcast. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for letting us host the show. I know the fans are probably going to be over wondering like, who the hell are these dudes? But hey, hopefully you guys got to know a little bit about us and my guys over here. My boy Alex Tchangam and Malachi Foot rushing the quarterback, and Mally Foot or Fit by Foot. You know what I mean? So y'all follow Too Gifted and follow the movement, support the brand. Follow me at OBM Coach Tia 408 on the gram, and yeah. So shout out to you guys, and shoot, we'll do it again soon.
Oh, y'all, have a good one.
Y'all take care. Stay blessed.
Yes, sir.
All right.